Hey guys, and welcome to the 6-week nutrition reset. I've recorded this video just to kind of give you an introduction to the course, to talk about how it's going to work, about how to fire questions at me, what you're going to be learning about, and just generally the process that you're going to be following over the next 6 weeks. Obviously, if you listen to this and you've still got questions, please just DM me. I'm more than happy to answer any questions that you guys have. So firstly, why did I develop the course? I knew that there was a gap in the market that I could see for an evidence-based, rational course with the basics of nutrition basically in it. It's not meant for just active people or just CrossFitters. Most people will be able to follow this plan and get some good results from it, regardless of whether you are looking at fat loss or muscle gain. Hopefully by now you've answered the quiz in the app that's given me a little bit of information about what your goals are and your body weight and things like that. But if you haven't yet done that, please do either DM me asking for that questionnaire or fill that out if you've already got access to it. In terms of how the next 6 weeks are going to kind of flow, every week you're going to get a new learning topic. So that might be something like sleep or hydration or food prep or supplements. That's going to give you a little bit more information about the basics of nutrition. So do have a look through those. They're PDFs, they're quite short, and they'll always give you some actionable feedback for you to use. So every time you have a little read through those, at the end of them, there's some recommendations that I have. So for example, which supplements should you be taking, or how can you get better sleep? And they'll generally try and line up with the habits that you're going to be working on over the next 6 weeks. So from weeks 1 to 4, you will see in your app some new habits for you to follow. So that might be something like, hitting a certain amount of fruit or veggies, or sleeping 7 hours a day, or mindful eating. All I want to say on those is take them at your own pace. So if you're eating 2 fruits and vegetable portions a day at the moment, don't try and go to 6 immediately. Maybe try a week where you're hitting something like 4. And then once that becomes ingrained and you kind of feel comfortable with that, then maybe increase it to 5 or 6. And if you're really struggling, you could always message me. So the main way of you kind of interacting with me during this course is via DMs or in the group. So you'll notice that you've been added to, sorry, my dog is in the background. You've been added to a group. If there's anything you want to share with the group, maybe it's a new recipe, maybe it is a tip or trick, maybe it's something that you're struggling with that you might want some group support on, then you can always message in the group. If there's something a little bit more personal to you, or just a question that you think is only going to be relevant to you, then please do DM me. If you're struggling to hit your protein target, or you're eating out this evening, or you're finding that you're not losing weight as quickly as you thought you might, always message me. I'll always make time to message you back. And if it's a big topic, I might do a video or a little kind of write up on it for the rest of the group. So that's how you'll be keeping in contact with me. Please do feel free to use those messages. If you're suffering, if there's an issue, if there's a challenge, if there's a question, just use that DM function, because I'm on the app very regularly, so I'll be able to follow you and to help you out. In terms of the actual tracking, if you've never followed macros before, you will notice that I've just given you a calorie target and then a protein target. And the reason for that is obviously a calorie target is going to dictate generally whether you're going to be losing body fat or gaining muscle mass and body fat. So that's kind of the most important fundamental. The second thing is obviously going to be your protein target. That's generally loosely based on 2 grams per kilo of body weight. For some of you, it might be a little less. If you're completely new to tracking calories, just start with that. Download MyFitnessPal, have a couple of weeks where you're just tracking your calories. Obviously be aware of what your protein target is, but don't stress about that too much. If you are a little bit more familiar, then you can start tracking your protein immediately as well. Again, don't stress about it if you're over or under, just aim on improving week to week. The reason that I don't give carbs or fat targets is that generally, for most people who are eating a balanced diet, it doesn't tend to matter too much whether you are eating a higher fat or a higher carb diet, or whether you're alternating between the two. So it often gives people more flexibility. That being said, if you are training, eating carbs around your workout is generally a good idea, and we'll come on to pre and post workout as a topic in week 3. In terms of what you can eat, there is nothing that is out of bounds. So if you really enjoy eating vegan food, or you are vegan, again, that's great. You do you. If you enjoy eating Indian food, if you enjoy having chocolate occasionally, that's all good. Your main focus is hitting your calorie target, hitting your protein target, eating your fruits and veggies. Alongside that, you are allowed to have treats occasionally. You can enjoy alcohol. Just make sure that you're tracking everything. And if you're tracking everything, we'll get a good idea of whether your calories are spot on or not. Obviously, it's my best guess. You might feel like your calories are slightly higher than usual, especially if you are trying to lose body fat on this program. My main method is to make sure that people are consistent and in a slight calorie deficit that they can maintain, rather than a huge calorie deficit that you might be able to follow for 1 or 2 weeks, but it's really restrictive and then you'll fall off the bandwagon. I am going to help you out with some recipe books, so they will be coming in your DMs pretty soon. They are all MyFitnessPal scannable, so you will be able to kind of scan those and it'll go straight into MyFitnessPal with the macros, etc. So they can be a nice way of kind of making food prep easier for you. I'll also include a food prep handout in the first week as well, so that can kind of help guide you into what or how to cook and how to prepare food. Finally, in terms of measuring progress, this is where a lot of people do get hung up, because a lot of people will focus on weight. Now, weight is just your relationship with gravity. It actually doesn't often tell us whether we've gained muscle mass or body fat, or lost muscle mass or body fat, because there are various things that influence our weight that are not muscle mass or body fat, like water weight. So for example, if you've had a big meal the night before, or you've eaten a load of salt the night before, or you've been training hard the day before, or you've gone to a toilet at a different time, your weight is going to fluctuate, but that does not mean that you've gained or lost weight, or that you've stayed the same weight. So obviously we're looking at trends over time, and you can use weight as a measure for that, but you don't need to use that as your only measure. The other things I like to use are things like waist measurements. So take a waist measurement in the next week if you're interested in kind of tracking body fat loss. Looking at progress pictures. So maybe taking a picture of yourself in underwear and then comparing those sort of every couple of weeks. You might also want to keep a journal in terms of how you're actually feeling. You know, are you feeling energized? Are you feeling like your skin's clearing up? Are you feeling more happy in yourself? Are you PBing in the gym? These are also all good indications that we are doing things right with our nutrition. So for sure, use weight as a measurement, use that as an indicator of what's going on, but don't rely on it as the only thing. And again, if you ever have any worries or questions about what I've given you as a target, just message me as soon as you can. I'm here to help. I'm not someone that's going to be like, just follow this, it's going to work, etc. I will always give you an explanation, or maybe even a call if that's what you need. I'm here to help you. I'm here to support you over the next 6 weeks. I've had some great results from the last few groups, so I want this group to have the same. And like I said, any questions, concerns, comments, just fire them in my DMs. And yeah, let's get going, guys.